I thought I'd take a moment and discuss the expanded and enhanced edition of Grand Theft Auto 5 that was released yesterday for the Xbox Series X and S, as well as the PS5. The cost of this update is $10 on the PS5 and $20 on the Xbox Series X and S. You don't have to own a previous copy of the game to get this pricing. First up, let's look at character transfers. You can bring over your story mode save game from your previous platform. When you bring over your story mode save, your original save will still be intact on your old console, and you can continue to play it there as well as on the new platform if you like. This is not true of the online characters. Rockstar will migrate your online character and all of its assets to the new platform, but it will then be deleted from the old platform. So, for example, if most of your friends do not have a new console, once you do the migration, you'll no longer be able to play with those friends. Another element associated with your online character's assets is that only money that you have earned in-game will be transferred cross-platform. If you have a bunch of cash banked on, say, the Xbox One that you bought with shark cards, you can kiss all of that and subsequently your real-life money goodbye if you transfer from the Xbox over to the PS5. The same is true if you're going from the PlayStation 4 to the Xbox Series X or S as well. Do I think this upgrade is worth the price? I think if you don't already own the game and want to check it out, it's a really good deal. Other than that, I'm not so sure. The changes between the Xbox 360 and PS3 to the Xbox One and PS4 were a significant visual update, improvements to the gameplay, and addition of the Rockstar editor, well worth the price of upgrading in my opinion, bearing in mind that the game was still going for $60 at that time, so you had to buy a new copy at full retail to get these upgrades. Selling your old copy allowed you to offset that a bit if you owned a physical copy. Okay, let's dig into it here. In this video, I'm going to be focused on the visual differences between the old and new versions of the games. There are other enhancements, but I'm only covering the visuals for this video. On the Rockstar Newswire, they announced that the updates included improved shadows and anti-aliasing, improved reflections using ray tracing, improved texture quality, increased vegetation quality and density, improved fire and explosion effects, and much more, whatever the heck that means. We'll compare these on each platform. I'm running in the performance ray tracing mode that will give upscaled 4K 60 FPS with ray tracing, as I found this was basically the best mode on my PS5. I'll show the PS4 and then PS5 clips for comparison. First up is shadows and anti-aliasing. As you can see here, the shadows on the PS4 have a pretty sharp edge to them. Also, as I walk towards the curved surface in front of Trevor, you can see flickering on it, and this is due to anti-aliasing issues on the PS4. The same area on the PS5 shows that we have nice soft edge shadows. As we walk towards that same curved surface, it stays nice and smooth with no flickering, and that's due to the anti-aliasing on the PS5. And the shadows get a nice smooth upgrade as well. Now let's test the ray trace reflections. Actually, before we look at that, I wanted to point out that they did not make the mirrors inside of the cars function. They look just as crappy as they did in the very first version of the game, sadly. Alright, having Trevor walk around the shiny red adder here does not reflect anything at all. It has highlights from the sun, but that's it. It's essentially the same on the PS5, so nothing earth-shattering about the reflections on this. Walking on the street in Vinewood at night after the rain, we get these distorted reflections on the PS4. The PS5 actually has the same level of distortion. I see no real improvement here. Finally, looking at this highly reflective skyscraper downtown, the reflections on the PS4 are obviously faked. They don't actually reflect anything, and the exact same situation is true on the PS5. So much for ray trace reflections. Not sure where they implemented them in the game, but it's certainly not at the places I've looked. Next up is improved texture quality. Overall, the road and paint textures do show an upgrade. One of my pet peeves is crappy repeated textures. On the PS4 up on this mountain here, you can see this patchwork of the same texture getting repeated over and over. And the same is true on the PS5, so while textures have seen some upgrades, there is still work to be done. Next is improved vegetation density and quality. Here's a forest up by Paleto Bay on the PS4, and here it is on the PS5. There's clearly some improvements, such as the stumps and overall texture quality, but it's pretty minimal. Finally, we have explosions and fire. Back on the PS4, I'll drive this adder over a sticky bomb. Now we'll set it off. Looks decent enough, as the PS4 always did. Now we'll make a fire stream with gasoline over to the car and ignite it with this pistol. It's super hard to see what is burning. This fire effect is pretty lame on the PS4. Let's have a look at what a brush fire looks like on the PS4 as well. I always thought these fires were pretty cool and liked the way they spread around on the ground like this. Much better than the gasoline trail that we just did. Okay, on to the PS5, we'll do the same thing. Holy crap, now that's an explosion. The smoke effect alone is a huge improvement. Okay, let's check out the gasoline trail as we did on the PS4. Okay, that's a huge improvement. You can really see the fire effect now. That's very nice. Over at our brush fire area, let's start a fire. Again, very nicely improved explosion, and the brush fire looks awesome. So far the fire and explosion updates are the most significant that I can see. Check it out. 2 fire engines responded. This brush fire is huge. I've never seen that before. I wonder if that's part of the update. Okay, that's it for this video. I hope this answers some of your questions about this upgrade. It's a pretty cheap upgrade. Doesn't offer a huge change to the game. As to if it's worth it, that really depends on your situation. Don't forget, if you migrate your online, say goodbye to everyone you played with on the old platform that have not gotten one of these new, very hard to find consoles. Thanks so much for watching. If you liked the video, please hit like, because that helps other folks find it. And until the next video, take care.